If Batman Begins catapulted Christopher Nolan to directorial stardom, The Dark Knight cemented it. Hey guys, how are you doing today? It's P.E. Gilbert, your blogger, writing consultant, and the author to the fantasy novella, The Sultan's Daughter. And today, we shall be reviewing The Dark Knight, with particular emphasis on how to make your hero fall. Quite literally in this case. But before we go any further with today's video, hit that subscribe button. Batman Begins was a phenomenal success. This noir film reinvented the Caped Crusader by giving Bruce Wayne a traumatizing backstory that turned him into a flawed, three-dimensional character / borderline anti-hero. Plus, by putting him in a world where corruption and organized crime thrived, we understood why Bruce Wayne became Batman in a believable fashion. Moreover, in terms of takings at the box office, Batman Begins did very well too, as it grossed $373.6 million. Thus, it was inevitable that a sequel would be made. And what a sequel it is.
It's not about money, it's about sending a message.
In the final scene of Batman Begins, Lieutenant Jim Gordon wonders how organized crime will respond to Batman.
What about escalation?
Escalation.
We start carrying semi-automatics, they buy automatics. We start wearing Kevlar, they buy armor-piercing rounds.
This scene sets up The Dark Knight perfectly. Christopher Nolan, the director of Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, wanted the sequel to Batman Begins to be about organized crime's response to the Caped Crusader, because it wasn't like organised crime were just going to accept someone coming to clean up their citywide playground and take it lying down, were they now? No, the criminals were always going to do everything in their power to bring Batman down. And through the antics of one man, they very much do. The fall of a hero is one of the many lessons we can learn from The Dark Knight. In this video, we shall discuss 5 ways that Christopher Nolan does it, and I hope these ways / tips make the writing process a little easier for you as well. 1. The start of the film and Bruce Wayne's story arc. Like at the end of Batman Begins, at the start of The Dark Knight, there is a tremendous sense of optimism. You really feel that Batman has started something significant and that Gotham is heading in the right direction, not least because he has found Dr. Crane and because of Harvey Dent, Gotham's DA / Gotham's White Knight, who is fighting organised crime legally. However, while the film starts off on a high, that's about as good as it gets for Bruce Wayne / Batman.
Know your limits, Master Wayne.
For the rest of the narrative, he is challenged at every stage, being brought down time after time by you-know-who, and Bruce painfully learns his limits. By the end of the film, truly, Batman has fallen. He has lost yet another loved one, has been wounded, and has been beaten psychologically, if not physically. Everything he has done to make Gotham safer has been destroyed. He's had to kill Harvey Dent, Gotham's White Knight, the symbol of hope that Batman believes he could never be. Plus, he is hated by the public and is considered an outlaw by the police. In short, he is a broken man and is forced to sacrifice his own reputation, to create a lie and to take the fall for Harvey Dent's crimes in order to put up the facade that the Joker hasn't won, so that the people of Gotham can have hope for a better tomorrow. 2. The Joker / the role of the antagonist. The man who brings Batman down is arguably the ultimate antagonist, as we discussed in a previous video on how to create the ultimate villain / antagonist. The Joker is organised crime's response to Batman, and in many ways, he is a dark, inverted mirror image of the Caped Crusader himself. In this incarnation of the character, the Joker has been designed to imbue the audience with the feeling of discomfort. From the scars and paint on his face, to his punk-like rebellious, dyed green hair, to his reptilian-like licking of his lips, to his voice and deranged laughter, and to his ever-changing, troubling backstory, the Joker personifies the terrifying nature of modern nihilism combined with the mockery of the medieval court jester.
Upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos. I'm an agent of chaos.
Metaphorically here, the Joker stands for chaos and the undoing of law and order. Indeed, everything that he does is to play on the worst aspects of mankind to bring about anarchy. But far from being a one-dimensional wanton destroyer for the sake of it, the Joker is actually the one-eyed man leading the blind.
You're crazy. I'm not. No, I'm not.
And he's right, he's not crazy. He's a psychopathic genius who sees the world in a profoundly negative way. He believes that deep down, everyone is as ugly as he is, and that if you create the right conditions, people will turn on one another. Furthermore, the Joker has a goal throughout the narrative: to win the battle for the soul of Gotham. On a practical level, this means corrupting Harvey Dent and breaking Batman.
I have one rule. Oh, then that's the rule you'll have to break to know the truth.
The way he breaks Batman is by challenging him psychologically at every stage of the narrative, forcing Batman into no-win situations, and by chipping away at his one rule, which is not to kill. What's more, the Joker plays on people's fears, rapidly turning them against Batman and making them believe that he is the source of all of their problems.
You see, this is how crazy Batman's made Gotham. You want order in Gotham. Batman must take off his mask and turn himself in.
Things are worse than ever.
Yeah, there's always someone who says things are worse than ever, isn't there? Amazingly, these morons always blame the people who are doing their damned hardest to make things better as well. And the Joker knows it. Anyone would think that the Joker understands people better than they understand themselves. It's all part of his psychopathic genius. What the Joker does accumulates, so that by the end of the film, he has smashed Batman's reputation and has sown so much mistrust within Gotham that only Batman's disappearance can heal the wounds that he has caused. His victory may be somewhat Pyrrhic, since he is caught and presumably locked up for life in a secure prison. Nevertheless, the damage he has done comes at great cost to Bruce Wayne and Batman. 2A. The Joker equals Osama Bin Laden. In Harvey Dent's speech in the middle of The Dark Knight, he refers to the Joker as a terrorist. Back in 2008, when The Dark Knight came out, Osama Bin Laden was the world's most wanted man, primarily for his role in orchestrating the 9/11 terror attacks. It is difficult to know exactly what Osama Bin Laden intended when he had his cronies fly planes into the Twin Towers. Nevertheless, 3 things that he did achieve were as follows. 1. To start the war on terror. 2. To reopen and intensify some old wounds between the Islamic and Christian worlds, which dated back to the launching of the First Crusades in 1095. And 3. To cause division and mistrust in Western societies at a time when there was hope for harmony across the world following the end of the Cold War. The way I see the Joker, he is a more flamboyant Osama Bin Laden writ small. Rather than treating the world as his playground, as Osama Bin Laden thought he could do, the Joker confines himself to one city. Nevertheless, many of the tactics that the Joker uses mirror those of Osama Bin Laden, not least in the use of homemade videos and in turning people against Western establishments. Moreover, like with Osama Bin Laden, the Joker's legacy is entirely negative. 3. The action sequences. The action sequences in The Dark Knight are phenomenal. The stunts and the physicality are exceptional, and the technology used, particularly sonar, is both imaginative and extremely intelligent. More pertinently to the plot, each action sequence explains how Batman is brought down a peg or two, thereby adding consequence to the narrative. Not including the opening action sequence when Batman finds Dr. Crane, at the next major action sequence in Gotham when Batman fights Salvatore Moroni in a nightclub, Batman learns a lesson.
Just take off that mask. How you gonna let a couple more people get killed while you make up your mind?
This changes Batman's thinking and makes him decide to turn himself in. Already, the Joker has cast doubt into Batman's mind about whether or not his vigilantism is a good idea, about whether Bruce is doing more harm than good as Batman. Furthermore, in the next action sequence, when Harvey Dent is being taken to the police station for coming out as Batman, even though he's not, Batman's tumbler gets destroyed by a rocket. In a blast, Batman has lost one of his best and most intimidating pieces of equipment to fight crime. It had been very useful in the climactic battle in Batman Begins, and without it, one almost wonders what Batman will do. The answer to that is the Batpod. But while that is a pretty neat substitute, it is not in the same league as the Tumbler. Indeed, without the Tumbler, Batman seems a little bit less than what he was before. In addition, in the next two mini-action sequences, Rachel Dawes is blown up, and Harvey has half his face burned. Thus, on top of his parents, Bruce has lost two more important people to him, knocking him down further and making him wonder if he brought their fates upon them.
Did I bring this on her? I was meant to inspire good, not madness, not death.
Finally, in the climactic battle, the Joker plays arguably his dirtiest tactic, not to mention one typically adopted by terrorists. He uses hostages as human shields. It means that Batman has to fight both the Joker's thugs, who are made to look like hostages when they're not, and the SWAT team sent in to deal with the situation, thereby making it look like Batman is fighting against law and order. Truly, the Joker is a genius. 4. The subliminal messages in The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight has many subliminal messages, and many of them point in the direction of bringing Batman down in one capacity or another. The first of the two subliminal messages that we shall discuss surrounds dealing with nihilists and terrorists. In the film, Alfred, Bruce's butler, tells him a story about the time he came across a bandit in Burma.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
In the West, we believe in a peaceful, court-based system to acquire justice. But how can our justice system peacefully deal with people who enjoy fighting, creating carnage, and committing acts of terrorist violence with the intent to destroy our values and everything that we've built? Perhaps the ADX Florence, the Supermax prison in Colorado, is the answer to dealing with these sorts of people legally. But The Dark Knight offers a far more depressing answer to that question.
A bandit in the forest in Burma. Did you catch him?
We burned the forest down.
I would hate to think that the only way to stop our enemies is to kill them. In the West, our compassion makes us part of what we are, and to just kill our enemies would be akin to missing the warning of the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. He who fights with monsters might take care lest he thereby become a monster. Still, what Alfred did to the bandit in Burma has an impact on Batman, as he realises that situations will arise where he will have to kill, that merely beating up criminals to a pulp so that they can be tried in court is not enough. We see the effect of Alfred's words in one of the last scenes in the film, when Batman takes out Harvey Dent to save Lieutenant Gordon's son. Whether you deem Batman's actions justified or not is besides the point. He has gone against his one rule. He has become a killer. The second of the two subliminal messages that we shall discuss concerns the effectiveness of enhanced interrogation methods. Former US Vice President Dick Cheney has spoken up about the effectiveness of enhanced interrogation techniques, as he claims it helped him acquire vital information to stop terror attacks. In addition, in Batman Begins, Batman used some dubiously legal methods to extract information from people.
Where were the other drugs going?
But in The Dark Knight, Batman learns that against a peculiar kind of psychopath, enhanced interrogation techniques don't work.
Nothing to threaten me with.
In real life, men like the Joker just laugh at those inflicting pain on them. For instance, in Daniel Beer's book on a history of Siberian exile under the Tsars, there is an example of a prisoner who was repeatedly beaten by a birch rod to make him acquiesce to the prison warden's demands. But it didn't matter. He took the pain, he laughed, and he carried on causing mayhem after every single beating, to the chagrin and the fear of the prison authorities. Similarly, in this scene, no matter how many times Batman shouts at the Joker, punches him across the face, or bashes him against the wall, the Joker just laughs at him. What's more, Batman cannot get the necessary information out of him either. In fact, the Joker only tells Batman the information when it suits him, and even then, he switches around the addresses so that Batman and the police go to the wrong places. It's like they're all playing to his tune. The message from this scene is that enhanced interrogation techniques have their limitations, and that they can send one down the wrong path. In Batman's case, it sends him on a downward spiral, as he fails to save both Rachel Dawes and Harvey Dent. 5. The music in The Dark Knight. Like in Batman Begins, the music score here has been written by the incredible Hans Zimmer, and in the main, it continues with the intense, dark and gothic themes that embody Batman, with a couple of notable exceptions. The first is the Joker's theme. The buzzing is maddening. The scratching of razor blades on piano wire makes the hairs on the back of our necks go on end, and the sudden crescendos shock us. All of this personifies the Joker. He is designed to unsettle us, and his theme augments this unbearable sensation exponentially. Second, the music in The Dark Knight can also be wistful, touching, and heartbreaking in places as well. In Batman Begins, this music was used whenever Bruce looked back at what he'd lost, notably his parents. In The Dark Knight, this music theme is reused for Rachel Dawes, and in the end, for Harvey Dent. It reminds us subconsciously of the people that Bruce has lost, and that he has lost more people that matter to him again. That this saddening music is used in the final scene rams home the point that Batman has lost, that he has failed, and that he has fallen. And that's all I have for you today, guys. Thank you for watching, and I really hope you have enjoyed this review of The Dark Knight, and that it has shown you a great way to how to make your hero fall. Like, comment, and hit that subscribe button, and tell me, what did you think of my review? What do you think I have missed out from this amazing film? Moreover, my debut fantasy novella, The Sultan's Daughter, is out. It may not have a superhero like Batman, but it is short, fast-paced, and full of suspense. If that is the kind of book you enjoy reading, then check it out. I have left a link in the description below. Otherwise, join me next time when we'll complete the trilogy with a review of The Dark Knight Rises. Until then, keep well. Once again, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button, and then you will be the first to receive more awesome content from my channel, and I hope to see you again soon.